Investing in dividend growth ETFs is maybe the greatest strategy of all time. Now, when it comes to dividend growth investing, there's so many stocks and so many ETFs that fit the bill for what investors could look for. But in this video, we're going to go through and put SCHD and VYM head to head and explain which ETF might be a better option for retirement. One of the greatest strategies to a financially free retirement is definitely through dividend growth investing. Now, this is because it addresses a number of issues that retirees frequently face. By living off of the income from the dividends, retirees can enjoy their time finally not working. Now, by living off of the passive income from the dividends, retirees can sleep well at night during bear markets and knowing that they don't have to sell off their shares in order to cover bills and in order to continue to live their life. Now, given that growing dividends are typically very dependable, as the saying goes, the safest dividend is the one that has just been raised. Retirees that are investing into things like SCHD and VYM can sleep well at night knowing that either one of these ETFs are going to be a great option. Now, for those that implement dividend growth investing early on, can also benefit from the long-term compounding, in addition to generating significant current passive income to fund a lifestyle, and generating sufficient income growth to keep up with inflation. Over the long term, dividend growth stocks, dividend growth ETFs are a great option. And this is because over time, with something like SCHD and something like VYM, the dividends are going to be increased as inflation goes up and as possible living expenses also go up. You can almost guarantee that the ETF's dividends will rise with it. Now, when it comes to the trailing 12-month dividend yield, SCHD comes out ahead with a trailing 12-month of around 3.58%. Now, this is compared to VYM's trailing 12-month dividend yield of 3.09%. So right off the bat, SCHD does have a higher trailing 12-month dividend yield, but wait just 1 second because this might not be a reason to pick SCHD right off the bat. When taking full year payouts into account, SCHD has a 12.2% dividend per share CAGR since 2012, whereas VYM has a dividend per share CAGR of just 7.4% since 2012. This past year, SCHD's dividend grew by 13.9% year over year, where VYM's only grew 5.03% year over year. Now, when it comes to the current yield and dividend growth track record, SCHD wins decisively over VYM. Now, when it comes to things like expense ratio, both VYM and SCHD are very, very cheap to own. Their expense ratios are tied with a 0.06% expense ratio, placing them in the lowest amongst most ETFs in the market. Now, when it comes to holdings for VYM and SCHD, they are both heavily diversified and both can most likely withstand any recession ahead. Now, looking at SCHD's top 10 holdings, we have AbbVie, we have Merck, Pepsi, Chevron, Coca-Cola, UPS, Verizon, Amgen, Cisco, and Pfizer. So very diversified, all companies that have dividend growth and all companies that are most likely going to withstand any markets ahead. Now, VYM, on the other hand, has a top 10 holdings of Exxon, JP Morgan, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Chevron, Home Depot, AbbVie, Merck, Eli Lilly, and Bank of America. So for the most part, I would say SCHD's top 10 holdings are maybe a tiny bit more favorable, but for the most part, their top 10 holdings are rather tied. So now that we went over all that, which is the better fund to buy? Now, both funds obviously are attractive investments, and if a young investor was looking to invest in either one of them, I would say most likely by retirement time, they're going to be looking quite good. But that being said, when it comes to current yield and track record and holdings, I will personally say that SCHD comes out ahead of VYM. And this is likely because of its concentration into investments that are going to have a little bit faster growth. But of course, like I always say, for the diversified investor out there that can't just choose one, in my opinion, SCHD and VYM are both definitely worth looking into. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like in the video and subscribe for more. Thanks as always, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.